Greetings and welcome back to Crawford Farms Entertainment. Last time I defeated Naruto and moved on to the finals of the Master K Invitational. A strange newcomer pulled off a major upset and beat the Hulk. Now me and this guy are about to lock horns. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification icon so that you won't miss any of our exciting content. Now, whoever this guy was, he had Goten spooked.
Krillin, that guy gave me the creeps. He was stone cold and motionless. The opponent he was fighting had limitless strength. Limitless, I tell you. But this guy had just enough speed and just enough strength to dodge and block everything that was thrown at him. The battle seemed pointless, as if the new guy was taunting him, and neither one of them could deal a finishing blow. The more he dodged and appeared uninterested in the fight, the angrier the behemoth got. As the beast raged on, he got faster and stronger. Eventually he landed a punch. The little guy should have been a goner. He was rocked but still standing. The punch did considerable damage to him and to the stadium, but instead of acting hurt, he seemed excited. It was like it was the moment he had been waiting for his entire life. The little guy sprang up and hit the green monster with such force, it sent shockwaves through the entire arena and the multiverse. I kid you not, the entire multiverse. It was so bad that King Kai hit me up telepathically to ask what the heck was going on. The green beast took the punch and barely flinched. This excited the new guy, and the two started trading blows at an insane pace. Their punches were starting to split the fabric of reality and cause strange anomalies throughout the arena. Only a few of us were able to see what was actually going on. It was kind of like the battle my dad told me about, between him and that other guy when he fused with Uncle Vegeta.
Come on, get to the point.
Okay. The battle raged on for hours, reaching the maximum allotted time. And so time was up, and now the battle's outcome will be in the hands of the judges. The decision was unanimous. The newcomer, Saitama, was declared the winner. This guy's insane. His power level rises so that he has whatever he needs to get the job done. It's like he has an army of riders constantly upgrading his powers. You're gonna have your hands full with this one.
Thanks, Goten. Superman was tough, but this guy would have smoked him, and he didn't have any known weaknesses. Plus, the World Breaker was the first being ever to take a punch full force from this guy without disintegrating or exploding into a hefty lump of gory goo. This guy was dangerous, and even worse, Goten had no information on him. He was a lower ranked hero from a no-name universe. He looked like the offspring of Charlie Brown and Superman, or worse, he could have been my kid. Just as I was about to step onto the stage, Superman ran up to me and said he had some information on the new guy. I have to admit, I was surprised. I wasn't really expecting help from the man who I'd made my career off of. Hey Supes, I said, how have you been?
I've been great. After the tournament and my fight with Broly, things got rough, but Lois got so jealous of Kefla, she begged me to take her back. Kefla says she didn't mind adding one more person to her fusion, and now I have the ultimate woman.
I thought to myself, that's disgusting, but since Superman said he had information for me, I endured it.
Yeah, so the guy is strong. I can't tell exactly how strong, but the guy he beat is as strong as your friend Goku at his base levels, and also seems to have limitless power potential. The big green guy had a strength that seemed to rise infinitely in direct proportion to his rage. Now the bald guy, no offense, Saitama, made him madder than I'd ever seen him before, and the green guy still couldn't take Saitama out. The reason the two fighters ended in a stalemate that came down to a judge's decision is because their plot devices, I meant powers, canceled each other out. This newcomer with a blank stare seems to bear a power that flexes with the necessity of the moment. So let's say he were to face Yamcha, your friend. His power would violently surge just to the point of striking him with enough force to shatter him into oblivion, transforming him into these tiny little backup fighter particles. Now, should he take on Vegeta, that power would scale up to an unimaginable, multiversal, shattering degree, enough to push back that overly pronounced widow's peak, cresting that sprawling forehead of his. Your only hope of averting defeat lies in the manipulation of your ki to outwit his power.
So there I was on the battlefield, locking eyes with the most intimidating being I had ever faced. His face held a stoic expression, his gaze impenetrable. How does one triumph over a foe like this, whose power is simply to always prevail?
Saitama, that's me, a professional hero. I'm a hero pretty much just for fun. I needed something to do with all of this idle time on my hands. The conundrum, however, is how simple it has become. Too easy for its own good. Day after day, spent in perpetual anticipation of a fitting challenge. Day after day, left with insipid disappointment. Of course I have friends, hobbies too, but yearnings for something more complex persist. Every so often, an audacious villain would emerge, touting their power as unstoppable, yet frustratingly, they are no match for a single punch from me. Can you imagine my frustration? Aspiring heroes approach me seeking guidance and training, and I'm baffled. I don't understand the origins of my own abilities. My training regimen was rigorous, yet no more so than a standard high school wrestling practice. I ached for a worthy challenge. When I was ushered towards this tournament, I agreed to participate, albeit reluctantly and with low expectations. The opponent, a towering green fellow, seeing nothing beyond the puny mortals I had effortlessly crushed with one punch. This behemoth, however, was different. Genos, my trusted ally, explained the concept of the multiverse to me. He postulated that while an entity could be invincible in its own dimension, the same might not hold true across dimensions. My strength, on the other hand, seemed to transcend dimensions, enabling me to hold my own the same here as I did back home. Some were not as fortunate. Take, for instance, this so-called god of war, Kratos, or however you say his name. He was humiliated by a peculiar fellow named SpongeBob. When my hulking green adversary transformed, he seemed to draw mass from an alternate universe, bestowing upon him a power consistency across the multiverse. We were evenly matched, and in that moment, I've never felt more alive. A particularly fierce blow landed, and I teetered on the brink of loss. It was exhilarating. There was an unmistakable shift in the energy dynamics, as though we were evolving to meet each other's intensity. Neither of us seemed to be approaching our thresholds. Irritatingly, time was our only enemy. As for this noseless contender I'm supposed to face, I don't anticipate much more of a challenge than I might face from a small child. Despite appearances, however, I remain hopeful.
So Superman's information wasn't much help, but it was something, and I kind of had a plan, but it was still going to be really hard to pull off. The plan was nuts. I had to let One Punch Man punch me. It was the best idea I could come up with, so here I was in the finals bout against another unstoppable force. So I thought to myself, you got this, Krillin. You've been here before. But who was I kidding? This was what Inuyasha was talking about when he said he had guys that will put Superman to shame. I took a deep breath and prepared myself. The announcer introduced us and the bell rang, signaling the start of the fight. I powered down with no ki augmenting my strength or durability. I slapped the guy as hard as I could, and then I started roasting him. I told him his costume made him look like a really reliable fry cook at McDonald's. I thought it was funny, but I warned you guys about my dad jokes. He was unfazed. I wanted to make him mad because I needed him to hit me at full force, to see if my plan had any chance of working. Either it would work or my life would end and it would be over so fast that I wouldn't know that it didn't. No matter how much trash I talked, I couldn't get to this guy. Nothing seemed to bother him. Then I realized this guy was only looking for a challenge. So I said, hey, look, I need you to hurry up and fight me so I can knock you out and move on to the real challenge.
I couldn't believe it. This guy just slapped me, like he was challenging me to a duel or something. From the hit, I could tell he wasn't super strong, but it felt like he was holding back, and not that it mattered. Then he mentioned that he was trying to rush past me to get to the real challenge. I was so curious to see what that was that I swung at this guy pretty much at full force.
So he swings, and I knew I had to time it just right. As the punch flew through the air, I remained powered down. Then when it made initial contact with my face, I stayed powered down. It wasn't until the full force of the strike started to land that I powered up. It hurt like heck, but his initial strength was only enough to obliterate me in a depowered state. My ki was enough to withstand it. I survived his punch, and now it was time to fight. Come on, let's get it, Baldy.
So it was a strange feeling to hit this guy and have him not turn into goo. I was a little upset at first because the dad joke had really ticked me off. But then I got excited. Was this the challenge that I'd been looking forward to? I know him surviving my punch was some sort of a trick or a technique, but I knew I would have to step my game up.
So the battle was heating up. He was insanely fast and strong but untrained, so I could dodge and land hits. But if I knew a punch was coming and about to make contact, I knew I could power down and quickly amp back up to survive. The only problem was doing so was exhausting. We were only 30 minutes into the fight and I was freaking tired. But this freaking guy wasn't even sweating. The battle was intense. He was unbelievably fast, and it seemed like he had infinite energy. His power was beyond comprehension, and if I hadn't witnessed it for myself, I would have thought somebody was playing a trick on me. My hits had no effect on him, so my only option was to try and outlast him and hope for a judge's decision in my favor. As the fight continued, I noticed two important weaknesses in Saitama. First, he couldn't fly. Despite his incredible speed and agility, he was bound by the laws of gravity. Second, he had no long-range attacks like Ki Blast. I quickly took advantage of this. I took to the sky and bombarded him with Ki Blast, but he dodged them all, refusing to let me touch him. The crowd erupted into cheers. I couldn't see much through the dust and debris, but I assumed they were cheering for me because of the amazing light show I was putting on. When the dust settled, I realized I had been wrong about the crowd's reaction. Saitama was now hovering above the ground, and to my surprise, his hands were glowing as if he had learned to fly and mastered ki manipulation just in the span of a few seconds. The crowd went wild, and I closed my eyes and I was just about ready to accept defeat. Suddenly, I heard the sound of sleigh bells in the distance. The noise grew louder and louder, and as I opened my eyes, I saw Saitama being blasted off the stage by a peculiar red and green ki blast. I felt a moment of relief, but it was short-lived as the same assailant then blasted me. It was clear we were under attack, and everyone in the arena was in danger.
Yo, believe it, I'm the #1 ninja in this rap game. Hidden Leaf's hero, you know my name. Ninja star spinning, chakra flowing through me. I leave you in the dust, you can't do nothing to me. Shadow clones multiplying, I'm unstoppable. My will of fire burns, it's undeniable. Ninjutsu so slick, flows like a shuriken. You thought you could win, you must have been jerkin. I've got the 9 tails, power uncontained. Your destructive disc wouldn't leave a stain. I'm the knuckle-headed ninja with the skills that'll end ya.
Hold up, let me interject. You talk a big game, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Forget a fox beast and chakra in your veins. I got the skill to bring the pain. I'm a Z fighter training with the best. Gohan and Goku, stronger than the rest. Destructo disc, cut through steel like butter. People underestimating, always seem to suffer. You ain't ready for this, little boy. Krillin, Naruto, you all talk, relying on your clones. I fight with gods and saiyans. You better tap out, cause I really ain't playing. You a little kid, I'm the best in the world. You try to talk tough, but you sound like a girl.
Krillin, you underestimated Uzumaki's might. You may be strong, but I face darkest night. With my Sage mode, I can dwarf your strength. Your turtle wave wouldn't make it cross the plate. I got this deadly spinning blade. It'll rip through your aura, leaving no shade. Master of transformations, sage of the sixth path. Your power level's nothing but an aftermath. I never give up and never surrender. Future Hokage, you better remember, you can't even sneeze without your wife's permission. You're just an extra in my ninja expedition.
I train with Goku, there is none realer. If power was poker, I'd be a card dealer. My destructo disc slices through dimensions in my solar flare. Blinds your intentions, don't sleep on this bald-headed fighter. I turn your rhymes into ashes, call me the lighter.